Hey there, it's Karen Stever. I'm here with Frank Gryner at thepublicrecord.com. We are hosting Stever's Public Playground Project, which is a community effort to help us build a song from the ground up. We started with vocals and lyrics, moved on to drums, guitars, and now we're at the last day of bass submissions. So get your bass stuff in tonight. Got a few people I want to talk about their bass submissions. We had some amazing ones that Frank and I were just going over recently. One was Max Watts. What did you think about Max's submission? Haunted, right?
Well, okay.
If you can say anything about this guy, he's haunted.
Well, yeah, and he also gave a lot of options. There was so many really cool textural things.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even believe, I don't even know how you made them. They're just...
we need more of these guys to make videos showing us how they do their stuff from their home studios.
Just some
very interesting.
Really great ambient, like really usable.
I thought so too.
Yeah, I was amazed and definitely wanted to you know, it's worth mentioning repeatedly how impressed I am at what you've sent in, just in general and especially over the last few days.
Yeah, great job, Max. No One Special, that's his name on here.
That's not how we feel about.
We feel he's really special. His submissions have been great.
Yeah.
Another person
great to solid bass track. Like very great tone, great
I thought it locked
to it,
in well,
and for the most part, you know, the no choices were really excellent.
Let's talk about Joseph Bruno's tone.
Well, let's talk about Joseph Bruno because his tone is amazing on it, but he also, I think he probably played it from top to bottom most accurately. Would that be a good way to say it? Like just nailed it. He really nailed it.
Yeah.
And it was a cool growl.
He's got this good upper mid buzz on his bass play. And I've asked Joseph as well, if you could show us from your home studios, just show us your settings and share some of those things. I think the community would really benefit from that because it really struck me as just a very cool tone.
Yeah.
And another person, Mark from Missouri, who you guys will see on here is Burning Wick. Really great submission from Mark as well.
Yes, excellent.
We just went through that one just recently.
Yeah, we
this morning,
just heard it.
Came in.
Yeah, just heard it this morning.
Yeah. So we've got some
welcome to TPR, Mark.
And I think
I
think if you find yourself in the forums, you'll find the Big Monkey, JT Allen. If you see Jana, that's Jason Nations, Tweak, all these guys, really loving family. So just feel really free and really safe talking to these guys about music and anything that any questions you have. So great having you guys in the community. I also want to mention some of the videos that have come in. You guys, if you go look under the member videos, it's more starting to come in. Teresa sent one of her kitty cat, which for those of you guys who were on here early when we went through lyrics, you know the lyric where I am filthy? That's the kitty that is a stray cat that came to my apartment that wasn't allowed to be in my apartment, and yet he came 3 times a day to visit me, and then I lost him, and it was really awful last year. But her kitty looks like him, and so she sent me a video, and I thought, I couldn't believe how appreciative I was to see her and her kitty Romeo on there. So thank you so much, Teresa. It really made my day. And nice that you're making the link to that. Teresa was responsible for some of those lyrics in the pre-chorus about diamonds, and so you guys should really get to know Teresa. She's great. And we have 2 other videos from Michael Payne and Alex Timbrilla, both mentioning the spirit of TPR and just, their sentiments on how things have been going and, just their overall view. I think you should check out those 2 videos. Now, I'm glad to see people talking more and more about music all the time. Less about politics, less about the industry and stuff, and we're all getting back to the spirit of music. And Frank, I have a couple questions I'd like to ask you specifically, because you have a phrase that has stuck with me for years now, and it's a question that you pose to bands, and it's, why are you making all this noise? And what I want to do is ask you a 2-part question. You can do what they do in the interviews and go, yeah, what was the second part? The 2-part question is, can you take us back to why you started making music and why? And why do you ask bands this question? So take us back to your origins of when you started making music. We know it was for chicks, right? You picked up the guitar for chicks.
No, actually, no. Yeah, a portion of that time maybe, but no.
What changed it for you?
Well, I was fortunate that my parents got me into music lessons when I was really young. I think I was 8, and I was playing acoustic guitar, of course. Didn't enjoy it that much, although I found that I had a little bit better ability to play by ear than to read sheet music, even though I went through and I learned and did okay. But it wasn't until I made the connection when I was a little bit older that that cool sound on the radio, those, that distorted guitar, was in fact related to the acoustic instrument that I was playing. So I got into electric guitar, got really obsessed with it, and then that transitioned into me being in my first band. I was really the youngest guy in the band, and I eventually got kicked out for some political reasons, not really necessarily due to my ability, and that drove me into recording, and I bought my first 4-track recorder, and this was in the late 80s, and I didn't even know, I suspected that, this thing costs more than a cassette deck because it can do something different.
So what can that thing do?
We didn't have like a TPR scenario where you could ask people things, and it's like, okay, I think this is what I want, because what I would like to do is be in control of all the parts. I don't want to, I want to program the drums. I don't want to rely on a drummer. I don't want to rely on these other people, because I had such a bad experience in this band.
Right.
And it was frustrating to be with people who didn't see things the way that I did. So that kind of got me into recording, and I realized that, yeah, a 4-track recorder, you with that you can achieve that level of creativity. So I basically locked myself in my room and recorded. It took months and months recording like a song, and technically got a handle. It was frustrating and really gratifying at the same time. But
and what did you find gratifying? Like when you say, like, well, you're in your bedroom and you're doing this. This is your experience that you're having with it. What is it that you're enjoying so much about it?
Well, I think to me, I was able to make discoveries with music on my terms, do it in a way that I could really connect with music and get to know myself a little bit better as well. And I think through that experience, I was at a certain point, I was able then to go back out into the world and
get back on the playground, you mean?
But be creative with other musicians.
So how did this all transpire, where you took that phrase that you continually use, and people in the industry know you for it now, is this, why are you making all this noise? Why do you ask a band that? When you're first working with a band, why do you want to know that so badly?
Well, I think we all have kind of been raised up in a society where I think it's almost a sense of entitlement to be in a rock band, to make music. It doesn't take much to be able to go to your local music store and get a bunch of equipment and be able to record and be able to make music. But I think we've taken for granted that privilege. And when I ask people why you're making all this noise, is I feel like there's a lot of noise being made without a consideration to why and what the core reason is. Because it's you're supposed to, or that's what you do, or is it just a cool thing to do? Well, I like to think that there's a reason beyond that, and one that we can reconnect with. And I feel like through TPR and this project, we can find ways to get back to the pure sense of being creative.
So you think it starts with the motivation?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I think with that motivation, you can achieve things that are much more relevant than trying to do things because you want to be famous, or I want a record deal, I want to be rich.
So what's your motive, essentially, in doing this?
Yeah, and as much as I think we're fed, through this, we keep referring to it as like the American Idol mentality, I never started this journey to be famous, or to be, to be on that like center stage. I've always felt I was more of a supporting, played a supporting role. I love music enough that I will help facilitate those who do have that ability to be on center stage.
No.
Or what have you.
I don't want it either.
But what I think what that is, and what that brings is recognizing what your strengths are and what you can do. Like, to me, it's less about ego, and it has taken me a while to come to that place where it isn't about what I'm going to get out of it personally. It's about how we can advance as a community, how we can make better music. That if there's a way to selflessly promote music and do some good, and no credit comes my way personally, I don't mind that. I like the idea of doing
because of the bigger cause and the bigger reason.
Yeah, and I mean, I know that we're all feeling at some time in your life, or possibly currently, that life has dealt you a bad hand, or you're feeling shortchanged at what you're getting out of a situation. And I think that we got to look at the opportunity for how we can move on from where we are currently into a place where we can do more good.
Right.
And you'd be surprised how much you do personally benefit from that as a byproduct, or even a direct result of doing the right things for the right reasons.
Well, I'm really glad you touched on those, Frank, because it's really important now more than ever that music finds its rightful place back at the helm again. It's all about music for me, and it's not just that I'm here to defend a song or here to defend the higher standard of making music, but I'm here to defend the spirit of music, because I believe in our troubled world it's the only thing left that's going to heal. And so if we can come together as a community and keep that in mind and keep remembering why we're making music and what our motive is behind making music, and I think we're going to do some really amazing things here at the Public Record. Really looking forward to 3.0. Got some amazing changes for you guys as well, and we're all fighting hard to make sure that everybody's represented well and it's a good experience for everybody. So just wanted to cover some of those things today and just get Frank's thoughts on that. Why are you making noise? And I encourage you guys to go home and go, why am I making all this noise? Just ask yourself that. You don't even have to answer anybody. I would love to see a video, of course. I'm going to ask you for one. But just keep reminding yourself of why we're making all this noise. All right? Until next time, rock on.